Stephen Craig Paddock was born on April 9, 1953, in Clinton, Iowa. At the time of his birth, his family was residing in Clinton, and he spent his early years there. As he grew older, his family moved to Tucson, Arizona, where Paddock spent a significant portion of his childhood. Later on, they settled in the Sun Valley neighborhood of Los Angeles. During his adolescence, Paddock attended Richard E. Byrd Middle School and then Sun Valley High School. He completed his high school education at John H. Francis Polytechnic High School, graduating in 1971. As a student, he showed promise in his studies and displayed a keen interest in business and entrepreneurship. After high school, Paddock pursued higher education at California State University, Northridge, CSUN, where he studied business administration. He enrolled in the university in the early 1970s and dedicated himself to his studies. Paddock was known as a focused and diligent student, though he did not stand out as an exceptional scholar. Nevertheless, he graduated with a degree in business administration in 1977. Following his graduation from CSUN, Paddock entered the business world. He tried his hand at various ventures, including real estate and other investment opportunities. Although he managed to make some profits, he didn't achieve notable success in his entrepreneurial pursuits. Paddock's early adulthood seemed relatively unremarkable, and there were no indications of the tragic events that would later unfold. As Paddock reached middle age, he underwent significant personal changes. He developed a strong interest in gambling, particularly in casino games, and frequently visited casinos in Las Vegas and other locations. While there are reports of him winning substantial amounts during his gambling endeavors, it's difficult to ascertain the exact extent of his profits due to the private nature of gambling activities. In the gambling circles he frequented, Paddock was not well known as a high-stakes player, and he did not associate with the elite class of high rollers that often dominate the Las Vegas casino scene. Instead, he preferred video poker as his game of choice, which he had been playing for over 25 years. Paddock's nocturnal gambling habits were noticeable, as he would often gamble during the late hours and sleep during the day. He expressed a strong aversion to sunlight and was seldom seen outdoors during daylight hours. While Paddock's gambling activities seemed relatively harmless, signs of an underlying change in his demeanor started to emerge during the last few months of his life. His behavior became increasingly erratic, and he frequently complained of not feeling well. Moreover, he developed an unusual sensitivity to certain chemical smells, which caused him discomfort. There were reports of Paddock being seen with the smell of alcohol on his breath, even during the early hours of the morning. His despondent state of mind was evident to those close to him, and he seemed to withdraw from social interactions. Despite his apparent struggles, he did not openly discuss his feelings or share details about his personal life with others. In 2013, 2016, and finally in June 2017, Paddock was prescribed the anti-anxiety drug Valium, indicating that he sought medical help for his emotional challenges. His girlfriend, who was living with him at the time, noticed these changes but attributed them to stress or other issues. She was not aware of the full extent of his inner turmoil. During the same period, Paddock's fascination with firearms became increasingly apparent. He began purchasing a considerable number of firearms and related accessories. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, reported that between October 2016 and September 2017, Paddock acquired over 55 firearms, the majority of which were rifles. Prior to that, he had purchased around 29 firearms between 1982 and September 2016, mainly consisting of handguns and shotguns. Paddock's girlfriend noticed the growing interest in firearms, but she considered it nothing more than a hobby and had no reason to suspect any sinister intentions. Little did she know that these acquisitions were the groundwork for an unprecedented act of violence that would shock the nation. In the months leading up to the tragic event, Paddock's behavior became increasingly concerning. He exhibited signs of growing aggression and irritability. Furthermore, he distanced himself from loved ones and became more secretive about his activities and plans. He suggested that his girlfriend travel to her native country, the Philippines, offering to purchase a surprise airline ticket and even sending her a substantial sum of money to buy a house there. In the final weeks before the attack, communication between Paddock and his girlfriend primarily occurred through emails and text messages. She had traveled to the Philippines as he had suggested, leaving Paddock alone in Las Vegas. During this period, Paddock began to exhibit unusual behavior, occasionally seen in the company of another woman, who investigators later confirmed to be a prostitute. However, there was no evidence linking this woman to the planned attack, and her identity has not been publicly disclosed. During the last days leading up to the massacre, Paddock's actions took a chilling turn. He was seen on a home surveillance system driving to an area for target practice, located near his home. Little did anyone know that he was rehearsing for the horrifying act he would soon perpetrate. On September 25, 2017, Paddock arrived at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas and checked into room 32, 135, a complimentary suite on the 32nd floor. He also booked a directly connected room, 32, 134, providing him with an advantageous position overlooking the site of the upcoming Route 91 Harvest Music Festival. Over the next few days, Paddock made multiple visits to his home in Mesquite, Nevada, approximately 80 miles northeast of Las Vegas. During these visits, he brought a significant amount of luggage to his Mandalay Bay suite, containing an arsenal of weapons, ammunition, and related equipment. Paddock meticulously planned his attack, casing Las Vegas Village, the venue for the music festival, from different windows in his Mandalay Bay suite a month before the shooting. Investigators later found evidence suggesting that he had researched other large-scale venues in different cities, including Boston, as early as May 2017. He had also reserved a room overlooking the Lollapalooza Festival in Chicago, which took place in August 2017. However, Paddock did not carry out an attack at that time. On September 17, 2017, Paddock stayed at the Ogden, a downtown Las Vegas hotel, which offered a vantage point overlooking the open-air Life is Beautiful festival that ran from September 22nd to 24th. It is believed that Paddock was considering this festival as another potential target, but ultimately decided against it. As the day of the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival approached, Paddock's plans were set in motion. On October 1, 2017, the fateful night of the attack, he began firing from his suite at Mandalay Bay at approximately 10:05 p.m. Over the course of the next 10 minutes, he unleashed a hail of bullets upon the unsuspecting crowd, indiscriminately targeting innocent concert-goers. The gunfire caused widespread panic and chaos as people initially mistook the shots for fireworks. The security fence surrounding the 15-acre festival venue hindered the escape of many attendees, leaving them vulnerable to Paddock's relentless barrage of bullets. During the shooting, Paddock fired in bursts, with each burst consisting of around 80 to 100 rounds. The rapid and sustained fire was made possible by the use of bump stocks, which allowed him to simulate the firing rate of a fully automatic weapon using his semi-automatic firearms. This controversial accessory was instrumental in the high casualty count during the attack. Throughout the shooting, Paddock occasionally paused to reload his weapons or confront the hotel security guard, Jesus Campos, who had been sent to investigate an open door alert on the 32nd floor. Campos was struck by one of Paddock's bullets in the right thigh, but managed to take cover and alert the hotel about the ongoing situation. Paddock's rampage finally came to an end by approximately 10:15 p.m. In the aftermath of the attack, the police response was swift, but the situation was chaotic. Initial confusion among officers about the source of the gunfire led to delays in their response. There were also false reports of additional shooters at other hotels on the Las Vegas Strip, further complicating the situation. Once the officers pinpointed the origin of the gunfire, they acted with determination and courage. They breached Paddock's suite and discovered him dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. The crime scene was extensively investigated and evidence was collected to determine the motive behind this heinous act. Amid the tragedy, first responders rushed to the scene to assist the wounded and transport them to nearby hospitals. The injured were taken to various medical facilities, with the largest number of victims treated at Sunrise Hospital and Medical Center and University Medical Center of Southern Nevada. In the first 24 hours following the attack, there was an urgent need for blood transfusions to save the lives of those critically injured. The response from the community and various blood banks was overwhelming, with 499 blood components provided within that time frame. The aftermath of the shooting left the nation in shock and mourning. With 60 people killed and approximately 867 injured, it was the deadliest mass shooting in United States history. The tragedy sparked intense discussions and debates about gun control laws and access to firearms. The most significant controversy surrounding the shooting was the use of bump stocks. These devices allowed Paddock to achieve a rapid rate of fire, mimicking that of automatic weapons, which proved devastating in the crowded concert setting. In response to the tragedy, the U.S. Justice Department banned bump stocks in December 2018. However, the ban's constitutionality has remained a subject of legal scrutiny in the years that followed. Despite exhaustive investigations, the motive behind Paddock's horrific act remains a mystery. Authorities delved into his past, personal life, and online activities to find clues, but no definitive answers emerged. Some speculation revolved around possible brain pathology, as it was initially thought that Paddock may have had an undiagnosed medical condition that could have contributed to his actions. However, a comprehensive examination of his brain by Stanford University pathologists revealed no abnormalities. In the wake of the tragedy, countless lives were forever altered, leaving survivors and victims' families grappling with grief, trauma, and unanswered questions. The Las Vegas community, in particular, came together to support those affected by the attack, demonstrating resilience in the face of adversity. The legacy of the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival shooting continues to shape discussions about gun violence, mental health, and public safety in the United States. The incident served as a stark reminder of the need for comprehensive efforts to prevent such devastating acts of violence in the future. While the nation mourns the lives lost and honors the bravery of first responders, the quest for understanding and healing continues as communities strive to find ways to prevent similar tragedies from occurring again.